Are we becoming too emotionally fragile? How resilience is built. There was a time when hardship was expected, when struggle wasn't something to avoid, but something to overcome. Today, however, something seems to have shifted. Many people feel easily offended, overwhelmed, or emotionally exhausted by even small conflicts. Debates turn into personal attacks. Discomfort is equated with harm. The mere presence of opposing viewpoints can feel unbearable. But why? Are we becoming too emotionally fragile? Or are we simply evolving into a more sensitive, self-aware society? Emotional resilience, the ability to withstand, adapt, and grow from challenges, used to be seen as a key trait of success and well-being. But now, some argue that society is moving in the opposite direction. Rather than teaching resilience, we are teaching avoidance. The question is this a step forward or a step backward? And if we are becoming more fragile, how do we rebuild resilience? The rise of emotional sensitivity, a strength or a weakness. Emotional sensitivity is not inherently bad. In fact, it's part of what makes us human. Empathy, awareness, and the ability to recognize emotional pain, both in ourselves and others, are vital for connection and personal growth. But when does sensitivity become oversensitivity? Psychologists have noted that in the past few decades, there has been a cultural shift, one that leans toward prioritizing emotional comfort over discomfort, avoidance over confrontation. Schools, workplaces, and even social interactions have become more focused on safe spaces, trigger warnings, and shielding individuals from potentially upsetting content. This can be a positive thing. It acknowledges that trauma and emotional struggles are real, and that people deserve environments where they feel psychologically safe. But it can also have unintended consequences. People develop lower tolerance for discomfort. When we shield ourselves from difficult emotions, we weaken our ability to cope with them when they inevitably arise. We mistake disagreement for harm. Encountering different opinions, even strong or offensive ones, used to be seen as part of life. Today, it can feel like an attack. We rely on external validation to feel safe. Instead of developing inner resilience, we look to external rules and protections to keep us emotionally stable. The result? A generation that is more emotionally aware than ever, yet, paradoxically, more fragile. But what causes this? The comfort paradox. Why too much safety can make us weaker. Comfort is addictive. The human brain craves safety and security. It's why we avoid pain. It's why we stay in familiar routines. It's why we resist change. But here's the problem. When you remove all discomfort, all challenge, and all struggle, you also remove growth. This is what psychologist Nassim Taleb refers to as anti-fragility, the idea that systems, including human beings, don't just survive through stress, they become stronger because of it. Just like muscles grow when they are pushed beyond their limits, emotional resilience is built through facing and overcoming adversity. But when people are protected from even minor stressors, something dangerous happens. Small problems feel enormous. Without exposure to difficulty, even minor challenges feel overwhelming. We lose our ability to handle setbacks. People become more likely to quit when things get tough. Emotional resilience weakens. The less we confront discomfort, the more fragile we become. We see this in mental health trends. Despite living in the safest, most advanced era in history, rates of anxiety, depression, and emotional distress are rising. This isn't about dismissing these struggles. Mental health is real, and many people genuinely need support. But the question remains, is part of the problem that we are weakening our own ability to cope? So how do we fix this? How resilience is built, the science of emotional strength. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you train. Just like physical endurance, emotional endurance is built through exposure, challenge, and adaptation. Here's how. 1. Stop avoiding discomfort. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to eliminate discomfort rather than confront it. If public speaking makes you anxious, avoiding it will make it worse. If difficult conversations stress you out, dodging them will increase your fear of conflict. If failure terrifies you, never taking risks will keep you stuck in place. Every time you lean into discomfort instead of running from it, you strengthen your ability to handle challenges in the future. Second shift, your mindset from victim to overcomer. It's easy to feel like life is happening to you, that obstacles, setbacks, and difficulties are unfair burdens. But resilient people don't see challenges as roadblocks. They see them as training. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How can I grow from this?" Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," say, "I've handled hard things before. I'll handle this too." Instead of fearing failure, recognize that struggle is a necessary part of progress. 3. Expose yourself to small stressors so you can handle big ones. In psychology, there's a concept called stress inoculation. Just like a vaccine exposes your body to a weakened virus to build immunity, exposing yourself to small stressors helps you build emotional strength. Practice controlled discomfort. Take cold showers, try a new challenge, push yourself outside your comfort zone. Face small fears daily, speak up in a meeting, start a conversation with a stranger, do something that makes you nervous. Train your brain to tolerate uncertainty and discomfort, because life is full of both. 4. Develop emotional independence. Many people today rely on external validation to feel okay. They need others to agree with them, support them, and create environments where they feel safe. But true resilience comes from within. Learn to self-soothe instead of expecting others to regulate your emotions. Build confidence by taking responsibility for your reactions, not blaming others for how you feel. Remember, your emotions are real, but they are not always accurate. 5. Learn to disagree without feeling threatened. In a world of social media outrage and cancel culture, we've been conditioned to believe that if someone disagrees with us, they are attacking us. But disagreement is not harm. Resilient people listen without reacting emotionally, can handle opposing viewpoints without feeling personally attacked. Know that their identity is not threatened by different perspectives. The moment you stop seeing disagreement as an attack is the moment you regain control over your emotional stability. Final thoughts. Fragility versus strength. Are we becoming too emotionally fragile, or are we simply becoming more emotionally aware? The truth is, both can be true. Emotional awareness is valuable. It helps us recognize pain, trauma, and the need for mental health care. But emotional fragility is dangerous, because life will always be full of discomfort, challenges, and adversity. If we train ourselves to expect constant emotional comfort, we weaken our ability to handle the real world. Resilience is not about ignoring emotions. It's about learning how to navigate them without breaking down. And the stronger we become, the less we fear discomfort, because we know we can handle whatever comes our way.